Give me that tap, tap, tap again.
Oh, a little tap, tap, taparoo.
I feel very like Victorian woman right now.
It's hot today.
Just with fanning myself with my note cards for my...
I have a mosquito bite.
You do?
Yeah.
Are the mosquitoes back in LA with a vengeance?
They're around. I'm trying to think of whether or not I really want to spray like a toxic mosquito repellent all over my patio or if I want to not get cancer.
No.
If I want to get West Nile or cancer, which one should
Kill
it
the
be?
mosquitoes.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to do it then.
They're such little fuckers. And I think the LA mosquitoes are like...
They get me.
They're worse than... I think there's like a new breed of mosquito that's like...
They've gotten worse and worse every year. LA did not have mosquitoes when I moved here.
Well, it's climate change.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
this
bad.
This is becoming the South.
It kind of is.
Becoming like...
It's like a wet, swampy...
It's a wet brain.
Lightning strike. We have to worry about lightning, fires, and West Nile.
And then, if you're lucky, you don't die in a huge earthquake.
Yeah, or the big one.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Honey.
I'm ready to go to war with mosquitoes.
I'm ready.
You want to go to
if
war?
If I'm out of LA and my nearest and dearest are out of LA as well, may the big one hit. and lower the real estate prices because I would love to buy a house someday.
Come back. Circle back on LA.
I'd love to circle back. I would hope that my apartment stays erect.
Just buy it.
I don't know.
No.
I would love for the prices to get down to
reasonable. Well, it's coming in the collapse. We've already talked about this. Mm-hmm. The other collapse, not a structural collapse, but a
societal
collapse.
No, if I was a quadrillionaire or like won the lottery, I would try and buy this building and like make it zhuzh it back up to it. Have it be in its like full glory,
or just turn it into one home.
Yeah, that would be chic too, like a home centered around a courtyard. That would be really chic.
Yeah, one day.
But yeah, until then I can just pray for an earthquake to come and flatten this shit.
But
you need to be out of town.
Yeah
I'm
not where we are right now. If we're like basically on the Hollywood fault line.
No, you're on the fault.
We've
spoken of the plan, but we actually need to get our like meetup plan.
Yeah.
Do you have a meetup plan?
For
like like if an earthquake happens, you're supposed to be like.
I think we go to Simon's parents.
Okay.
Laurel Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also like
that's up the hill. How are you gonna get up there?
I know, but once we're up there.
Then you're not coming down.
I know,
unless you landslide down.
It's safe up there though.
Is it though? Because it's like up in the hill. If you get stranded up there, how are you gonna get up there on foot?
Yeah. Simon was investing in a crossbow the last time a big earthquake hit LA.
Mm-hmm. I still need to get my tiny gun.
No, we don't really have like a full. I remember one time my dad like sat us down, like I think this was post 9/11 in our dining room and was like, kids, we need to discuss like our family emergency plan.
Yeah.
If like a dirty bomb goes, and I was like, oh my God.
You're supposed to have a meeting place. I know that for an earthquake, like where it's like, if we can't get a hold of each other, we all know that we just meet here.
I think like Santa Monica is probably a good halfway.
Santa Monica?
No, Santa Monica Boulevard.
Oh, I thought you meant Santa Monica, the city. I was like
SMB,
Caddy.
I think is a good halfway between, and like for friends on the east side, they can come. Like it's kind of like an all like La Brea, I think is a good Highland.
You're trying to have everyone meet at like Hollywood and Highland.
I'm trying to have everyone meet at my address.
You're like, you know, I think it's like an incredible place to meet is like the intersection
of La Brea and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're trying to do.
I don't know. We should probably get that like.
We should just get it on the books.
Yeah.
As a thing.
Because I'll
coordinate with Simon. I feel like he's in the.
Simon has the plan.
Simon's gonna be the one that I look to as like the executor in this situation.
I need Simon, you, my best friend Matt, a few others, and we need to all caravan together out, or just go in one car out of the hot zone.
We gotta strap Mango and Tony to us in a backpack.
And Carrie and Matt's.
And yeah. And then we'll caravan to
the desert. Deserts are good. I think the desert's good. Like,
really?
Mm-hmm.
If you can get there, if there's not like a crack in the road.
I have a friend who lives in
We need a plane.
He lives halfway between Palm Springs and Joshua Tree in a full compound.
That's cool.
With his own water.
Oh.
I'm going there.
Does he know that? Tell him that like 9 people are coming. You plus 9.
Yeah, and then plus all his friends.
Yeah,
it's probably a good.
Mm-hmm. I do have a lot of Arrowhead, like big 5-gallon jugs, so I would be good on water for a little while. Some of them might have BPAs floating around, but that's
BPAs,
just, like the BPA.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I think it's good to have an emergency. I think just with everything happening, get that earthquake quick for not just an earthquake, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, pack it hard.
Mm-hmm. Pack a couple abortion pills in there.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Plan Bs,
but also like, because I think you can still get the abortion pill. Not Plan B isn't an abortion pill. It just like stops an egg from like implanting. Yeah. But like, I think that like the medical abortion pill is still available in most places.
Yeah, I think every woman should be.
I think it's like I just think what is off the table is like a like physical abortion in some spots, but
yeah, they should just give every woman whatever she needs. But.
An apron. And take away her shoes and give her a rolling pin and say, "Get to work, bitch."
That's what they want.
Yeah. And
fun times.
A bonnet.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
I mean,
we're not going there, Care.
We're not going
there, Care. I said we're not.
All right.
We're talking about.
We can acknowledge that things are fucked right now.
Yeah. An earthquake would be a good reset.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. When an earthquake feels like a chill release.
You're talking about a biblical earthquake where the whole world is like the trumpets blare and the earthquakes hit the whole world.
I think it could happen. I don't think it will happen in Los Angeles.
You think it's going to happen in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
Huh. You read that article.
Oh, who didn't?
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
But I think that's like... I think that's the spot.
Well, we'll see.
We'll just like burn alive.
Die in fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or just get shot at the Grove.
Or get shot by either a mass shooter or the police.
Yeah.
Either or.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
Or just get run over.
By a tank?
Just in an intersection.
No, when I walk Mango, I'm like, kill me, let him go.
Yeah. I think dogs are actually protection for when you walk. Like I still like at night, I'm on the lookout for any suspicious like male walkers around.
Do you keep your keys?
No, I just don't take anything with me of value. So like, I just like leave the house and I just have myself and Tony, like no phone or anything, nothing worth. Yeah, I'm barebacking this shit. And like, I'll take Tony, but if I scream, he barks. And then also I'm like, I feel like attackers aren't looking to attack people with dogs because it's just like too much to deal with.
A lot of energy.
Yeah. Unless you have like a French bulldog or some sort of expensive like designer dog.
I need to recommend a movie really before we get into the
Ugh.
It's called Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's Micah Monroe.
Ooh, yeah.
And that hot guy that used to date Zoe Kravitz that was in Devs. It's kind of like Repulsion meets Rosemary's Baby meets like Every Woman's Worst Nightmare, but it takes place in Romania and like a chic like
cool.
Kind of
okay, I'm in. Say no more.
And it's like a great like movie for now.
Okay.
You'll love it.
I love her too.
She's so beautiful and like
she's an
incredible actor.
Yeah.
In this movie I was like, damn, she has a lot of like just natural.
She if I were her, I feel like this happens a lot where everyone in Hollywood just looks the same. But for the longest time, I literally could not tell her and Brie Larson apart.
And she's cooler than Brie Larson. She's cooler than Brie Larson.
Well, yeah, I mean.
That's not hard.
Brie Larson is truly so crazy.
Her
food thing. When I got the fullest sense of who Brie was when she posted that food pic, and she was like, sometimes you just have to laugh.
She said, who said food can't be fun?
And then she did it. That's I'm so crazy face with a bowl of soup. And I was like,
but everyone was like, wait, who said this? No one has ever said food can't, like, you know what I mean?
Brie's living in a world of rules.
It was like her with like a leaf.
It was her with like a leaf, like a food leaf.
But anyway, and now she's like
that's what told me everything I needed to know.
She tells her stories.
She tells her stories to us.
And another thing I need to recommend is John Early and Kate Berlance.
Oh, I watched it.
It's so good.
It was so good. I was dying.
Would It Kill You to Laugh on Peacock? Another Peacock original.
Peacock just killing the game over and over and
the
over.
Hot caramel.
What won't they do next?
When she pays with hot caramel, I was...
that reminded me of like your sense of humor, like them paying with hot caramel.
But also like they've inspired me. Like I read an article today that was written, it was for GQ, and it was like everyone is copying John and Kate.
Yeah.
And they're like, they really have informed like an entire generation of like...
They're the blueprint.
Yeah. And this show just reminds you like they're kind of the pioneers of this brand of like humiliation comedy.
They're the OGs.
Yeah. And like just, but their stuff is like, it's very like tender too. Like it's very like, they have a lot of like empathy for like human, like everyone just being like messy in the world every day. You know what I mean? That's why I love their comedy so much, because it's like very human and like compassionate, and as dark as like brutal as it is. You know what I mean? And I just love that.
Kate as like a masculine entity is
chilling. It's so good.
There's like when
amazing.
She goes full male cross-dressing, but then also when she goes like full Dale, and I was like, yes. She
also looked incredible as a male. Mm-hmm. And John does straight so well. Like just like, yeah.
It was fun.
Anyway, it's so good. Anyway, let's get to it. Speaking of Peacock, we're ready to go back to where it all started.
Honestly,
in the Berkshires.
Speaking of, it is like, this is Rosemary's Baby's lair.
It's also like kind of the Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. Like I actually think civilization did start at Bluestone Manor.
Yeah, it's biblical in that respect. There are trees that are 100 years old. There's spirits at play.
There's blessed trees that are 100. Like blessed is the optimal. It's a Catholic haunted house. Catholic New England horror, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah.
I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to
Sexy Unique Podcast.
Ultimate Uggs.
What are we calling it?
Have we called Uggs too?
Uggs?
Or Ugged? Are you shaken by my... I am recommending it.
I know. No, I'm not. I'm lightly shaken.
Why?
I don't know. Just because I think it's you acted like you watched it, and then the truth came out that you hadn't watched the whole thing.
Well, but I've watched it.
Yeah.
I was just recommending like that I'm watching it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Do you think I'm like a liar?
No.
Yes, you do.
It just threw me, but I'm not like, I'm over it.
Guys, here's my truth. My truth is that I haven't finished watching John Early and Kate Berlance comedy special because I fell asleep because it was really late when I was watching it. But I'm really excited to finish it. And I think that everything I say stands, that they are the pioneers of like our generation of like
they are
alternate comedy.
Yeah.
And I have to make that truth known that I haven't finished it, but I will.
And this all came from me trying to say a joke from it to Carey and then him not picking up on that at all.
But I love them.
I was like, I've
been a supporter of theirs from the get-go.
I know.
So I'm not like
Ness, just cut all of it.
Just cut all of it.
Don't
it. Even talk about.
We're just cutting it all.
Just cut it all. We're not even gonna mention the special.
Should we not mention the special?
No, let's not mention it.
Okay, fine.
All right.
No skin off my back.
I'm not lying about.
I don't think you're lying.
I watched like 4 of the sketches.
No, I'm Carey. It's not a big deal.
I could tell you were shaken.
I was just a little shaken. That's all.
Okay.
But I got, you know what? I shake and then I shake it off.
All right, great.
Taylor's.
So what should we call it?
I don't know.
Ultimate.
I don't know.
Bluestone activate. Bluestone returns.
We'll figure it out.
At the gates of Bluestone.
The gates of Bluestone.
Like the gates of hell.
Mm-hmm. Should we think on it?
I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to
Sexy, Unique Podcast, Berkshires Revisited.
So we are in season 2 of Housewives on the Island.
And they're no longer on the island.
They're in Western Massachusetts.
They're in Great Barrington.
Which I think Vicki...
At a place that some people have never even heard of.
And,
like Vicki Gunvalson.
And some people have never been the same from.
Everyone that goes there.
Everyone that goes to Bluestone gets possessed by the spirit of the house.
Bluestone Manor looms large over us all.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly is a shapeshifter.
It's like kind of a Salem's Lot.
In every establishing shot, it's a different color.
You're right.
We discovered that, I feel like, on another recap that we did. But I was like really paying attention to it.
Oh, when we did the live show.
Yeah, our New York live show. And I was really paying attention to it this time. And I was like, this is honestly very different every time you see it. And cannot put a pin in what the color scheme is on the exterior.
And Brandi makes that clear when she says, I feel like it should be called Greystone Manor.
I know. I was like, she sees what we see.
I have to just right off the bat say that, like, obviously we know how we feel about Brandi of like, I don't want to be friends with her, but I like appreciate her.
I appreciate her too, and I've watched all 3 episodes so far.
Have?
Yeah, I just binge them immediately.
I'm like a third of the way through 2.
But I do think that people really come for Brandi and hold her to a different standard than they hold any other housewife. Like, she just brings that out in people.
I'm sure that's been her experience her
whole life. Yeah.
Because
her delivery of stuff is bad at times, or it feels aggressive, but I don't think she's trying to come for anyone necessarily. I think she's just drunk.
Yeah, I think she's just drunk, and she's very like sensitive and uncomfortable
and just says whatever is on her mind, like doesn't filter it out to like think through how this is gonna sound when she says it out loud.
And she like awkwardly makes like little, like, someone will say something kind of benign and she'll be like, wow, okay, and you're just kind of like, why, this is not the...
And it's not, and that's also, again, like, not her being rude, even though it sounds incredibly rude. Even though if someone said that to me, I'd be like, wow, what a fucking bitch. But like on her, I don't think she really means it as rude.
I also think she's just like, she's kind of not, even though she's provided so many iconic moments in Housewives history, she's like kind of not meant to be a real housewife. She doesn't play by the rules.
No, she's too like activating for people, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very compelling to see her, but she is sort of the audience proxy, weirdly.
Yeah, and she watches every single franchise, which I was like, that's incredible.
I kind of appreciated, like, oh, she's like all of us.
She's in it, yeah.
And she's the most honest. And the other thing I need to say right off the bat is I'm obsessed with how much they reference, I know they did it in the first season, but how much they reference the show.
Yeah, it's incredible. This is, I think, better than... I would say this is better than Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
just like in terms of what it gives. I also need to say off the bat, I'm Tony. No. I'm obsessed with Phaedra.
Phaedra is...
had no idea.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I think I stopped. Was she in the original?
Mango.
Oh my God. Guys.
She wasn't in the original. She came in like season 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah. So I stopped watching. I watched the first 2 seasons of Atlanta, and then I felt... Tony.
Mango, come here.
Oh my God.
Talking about activate. Aww. Phaedra came in... she was not the original, but she's definitely like a classic Atlanta.
She's the funniest person.
She's fucking funny.
Like everything she does and says, and she knows it. Like she just is. She works it.
She's a star.
She's a true star.
And she's like, she looks incredible.
She looks so young.
She's also bizarre. That's what I loved about Phaedra.
She's kooky.
She went from being an attorney. She was Bobby Brown's attorney.
Okay, yeah. I was reading because I'm gonna start watching Atlanta again for her seasons.
She's in Being Bobby Brown.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, she like they say like Phaedra Parks.
Oh, I think I remember that actually.
It's very brief, but you see her like in court with him. Like,
so why did she get kicked off the show? Was there something? Did she do something kind of weird?
Yeah, I think she like came up with some like really weird.
Did she spread a weird lie about someone?
I think she spread like a vaguely like that. I think Phaedra said that Candy tried to Me Too another one of the housewives. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like very odd.
And they were like, "You gotta go."
You were like, "You gotta go."
Damn.
But she went from being a lawyer to a funeral home operator. Like she's, and when she was in that period, they'd play funeral music in her scenes. It was like do 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 do. But yeah, she's iconic. Eva's iconic, obviously from Top Model.
Loved her on Top Model.
And I liked when Brandi said, "I loved you on Top Model."
I know.
I was like, Brandi.
And Eva's like a real one. Like I like someone that will come in and be like, "I loved you from like Celebrity Big Brother." Like we're just gonna not make any bones about like trying to be too cool.
Yeah, she was like bowing down to Vicki basically.
Yeah. This is my truth about Tamra. I fucking love her.
I love Tamra.
And like she makes me, there's something about her vibe that makes me feel really safe.
I totally get what you're saying, and I actually have the same sensation when I watch her. Of like, I feel like if I was with her,
like she feels like a friend's mom or something that you could just hang out with all day, and like you're just like very comforted by her and comfortable with her, and she gets it, and she's a girl's girl.
Like I was watching it, and I was kind of like, I kept saying, "Oh, thank God Tamra's there."
I love her.
You know, because if she's there, it almost like legitimizes it more weirdly.
Yeah.
And she's a great foil for Vicki.
Vicky's is comedy, but she doesn't mean to be comedy.
She's the Grim Reaper.
She is the Grim Reaper.
She's also
one of the most tragic characters on any television show ever, potentially.
She's also like succumbing to long COVID.
She's fully... Did you get to the part where she like has to go to hospital?
Oh no, I got to the part where Dorinda
like,
and her...
She truly is like dying of COVID on the girls' trip.
I got to the part where Dorinda's like, I've had 6 friends die of this virus.
And Vicki was like, well, we just don't know about the vaccine. We just don't know.
She goes, follow the money. I was like, what?
She goes, well, there's been one person that died of the vaccine. And Dorinda goes, that's a lie. How do you even... She goes, well, my friend's friend said it. And it's just like, Vicki, read the fucking room, girl. No, it's not the time. Because I think Tamra's anti-vax too. Or she...
No, well, she said she kind of called Vicki out a little. And she was like, Vicki, this isn't political. It's just the reality of the pandemic.
Okay.
I think Tamra's vaxxed.
Is she? I don't know. I got the impression that someone pointed to both of them, but Tamra did the right thing, which is just to say nothing. Just don't engage and just like...
Well, I think they all had to be basically... I mean, Phaedra said... Well, that's the second episode. But anyway, yeah, Tamra's great. I'm loving... Phaedra and Eva are so good together.
They're really good.
I'm loving that Jill is coming.
Jill really annoys me.
I know, but I love her.
She deeply rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm realizing too. And her entrance is actually really funny because no one knows who she even is.
She's incredibly toxic.
She's just like, the vibes are bad with Jill.
But
I love seeing Taylor Armstrong. I never knew how much I needed her back in my life until now.
I was watching with Simon and he goes, wow, she kind of looks like, because Simon he like never knows names of like celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, she kind of looks like mother. And he was talking about Jennifer Coolidge in The White Lotus.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, she does.
She does. She has a similar kind of like sad vibe like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like a sadness about her.
Mm-hmm.
When they're driving to Massachusetts
from Hartford,
Vicki goes, she's FaceTiming with Tamra and she goes, Massachusetts, I've never been there.
Yeah, first she says we're going to a home in the Hamptons, and Tamara goes, "No, Vicki, I think that's in New York. I think we're going to
Massachusetts."
But she doesn't. She goes, "How do you say it, Massachusetts?"
Yeah, I love that they've like never been to Massachusetts.
Well, I feel like when you live in Orange County, even more than LA, you're like,
it just don't go over there.
You're like,
you go to New York.
Yeah, or maybe
for like a trip. You stay in like Times Square, like
yeah, but you don't.
You go to Manhattan. You don't go to Brooklyn.
No, and you certainly don't go to Boston.
I randomly know like tons of my good friends are from New England and like Massachusetts specifically, so I've been there a bunch. But so I just can't fathom not being to Massachusetts.
Yeah, my mom's actually from the North Shore, but yeah, But I haven't been to the Berkshires, so I don't. I too am like.
There was a reader who runs a really chic manor, like B&B. We need to go there.
Yeah.
She said we could go for a free weekend.
I want to stay at Bluestone. I want to somehow finagle
Bluestone is cursed.
I want to go.
I want to go. I want to drive by.
I want to take a nap with Dorinda.
Me too. I want to watch her huge TV that's 3 feet away from her. Her whole bed setup. I was like, this is what I'm looking for.
Dorinda is just, I know she's like slurring through most of this, and
she is an alcoholic.
No, I know she has like, yeah, but she's also she's just elegance to me. Mm-hmm. She's like very.
I love her hair.
Yeah,
how does she make her hair look that color and it looks so soft?
What's that kind of dress with the no sleeves and like the zip from the back?
Yeah, just like a shift dress.
Like that's just her, barefoot, walking around.
Her Midsommar Christmas tree.
That room, the confessional room is. But
like the tree that's just a tree of flowers.
Yeah.
I was loving that.
And that painting.
Mm-hmm. And Marco, her butler.
Marco's
hot.
But he's kind of bad butler.
Yeah. He needs to hop to it.
Well, I love when Dorinda said, when the lady is present, when the lady of the manor is present, you must
be here so you learn everything and then execute. I love that.
She's wealth.
That's what I want to do to my cleaning lady robot.
She goes, Richard Medley's anniversary of his death, 10 years. So we blessed the house, we blessed the tree outside. And then you cut to her and she has flowers adorning Richard's tree where she claims, she goes, I feel him there.
I don't know why, but I just feel him there.
And she goes, oh, Richard, I miss you.
Phaedra goes, who's Richard?
Yeah, Phaedra goes,
who the hell is
Richard? I like how they don't like really know about each other.
Yeah, it's incredible to see like who knows what. I also am loving the flashbacks of Dorinda going like, when everyone gathers at Bluestone, there's beautiful memories made, and you cut to her like screaming at Luann. She goes, you're drunk, your fucking mugshot everywhere. And Luann cuts to Luann going, get over it, and like trying to walk out the door.
Cut to Bethany going, you're a slut, you fuck everyone.
And Sonia just like freaking out that they touched like the Morgan letter. We need Sonia on a girls trip.
I talked about it on the live, but I still never forget. The most underrated Bluestone moment is when they have a cake and things aren't going well. So Dorinda's bringing out like a birthday cake for someone. And I think there's candles in it. And she just sticks her face in it and sticks her face in the cake and looks and goes. And then Luann is blackout and Luann goes, why did you do that? She goes, hey, why did you just do that?
I'm obsessed with Luann. I miss her so much.
I know.
She actually like feeds
night.
me. Oh yeah, I saw that.
The Ray, El Ray, or
Damn,
whatever.
we should have gone. Oh well. Actually, I don't like her in that. I'm like, I want her just on a show.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
I like her going, get over it. Like, go. I love any reality star going, get over it. Is like music to my ears.
But I miss the days of Carol Radziwill at Bluestone Manor, and like that. Like I do miss that.
Mm-hmm.
That was an era.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Taylor is reminiscing on Brandi talking shit at the season 2 RHOBH reunion about her writing a book, and she goes, Andy with a smile on his lips is like, oh, so you think she's written a book like maybe too soon? And then Brandi goes, it's been a hot minute. And I remember that. That was shunking.
That was truly shunking. Well, later we find out.
out why.
Yeah.
Vicki is absolutely destabilized by the Berkshires.
Well, Vicki's also coming off of breaking up with her horrific, terrifying, like mask of a person. Steve Lodge.
Steve is hot.
No, he looks like he's wearing a mask of a man.
Really? I know. I only saw from the flashback because I didn't watch that season. I haven't watched really any OC.
He's crazy. He also ran for governor, and he's like fully QAnon and.
Is he broke because he just lived off of Vicki?
I don't know if he's broke. He was a cop. I think all of Vicki's men, except Don.
Vicki really does not know how to pick him.
She had Don.
Was Don her first husband?
Don was her second husband, but who raised her children.
Okay. And why did they get divorced?
I don't know. Don was cool.
Was that when she was like, my love tank is not full? And so she had to leave him.
She had no choice but to
leave.
She
had no choice but to pack her bags and send him to the curb and then get with Brooks.
He kind of had like bi energy.
Don.
He was like, had like an earring and was like, the kids loved him. And she got with fucking the literal Flannery O'Connor character of the Real Housewife, like the scariest person.
Brooks.
She
was like love conned.
She was dirty johned. He terrified her daughter. Brianna was so deeply afraid and hated Brooks so much from the very start. And he was literally like
this is Vicki's collapse into a tragic life of darkness.
And her mom didn't love her. She really remember when she goes.
She does seem like that kind of person who has mommy issues.
Well, did you see when Vicki?
I've never watched really.
Oh, well,
OC.
There's one episode where Vicki goes to Chicago, where she's from, to see her family, and they're like from like the suburbs of Chicago, and they're just like real like Chicago people, like Midwest, and kind of her mom is very like brash, and she has a bunch of siblings, and she's like, Mom, can you just tell me that I just need to hear you say that you love me. And her mom says, I can't tell you that.
On TV? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Savage.
But Vicki's also like...
I mean, she's making it hard. But she is a girl boss at the end of the day.
She's the original scam queen.
She is the original...
MLM.
She's the original GB, the girl boss.
She's a Koto
Isn't she
girl.
Is she real estate?
Insurance. Koto Insurance, which I drove by. Or we were going to drive by it and I didn't, but
Vicki's been making money and doing the damn thing.
But
and paying for every man that she dates, paying for his life. She's Dodie vibes.
But on the way, Vicki is so harrowed by the Berkshires, and she also looks ill. She has like a ring.
She has glassy eyes.
She's sick.
I thought she kind of looked better than ever. Like, I think her plastic surgery looks really good and natural.
Yeah. She's almost 60.
Yeah. But she's looking around. She goes, she lives here all the time. What does she do out here? They're bugs.
She was not even a Home Goods, not a Target. And I was like, my mom would say that.
Mm-hmm. In the house, the questions continue. And Dorinda shows them the painting. She goes, why is there a dead deer there?
There's a dead deer and a dead octopus.
That's cool. But I like that painting.
And Dorinda's walking around those little like clog heels, which I love. Mm-hmm. And
her mules.
And Vicki just goes, well, she goes, is there a place we can go like whoop it up? That's her trademark
and
word.
She goes, whoop it up. And she goes, just whoop it up. Where can you go?
She goes, we're here, Vicki. She goes, Vicki, this is it.
And then, yeah, Vicki said that a year ago she bought a place in Mexico, and then Steve just moved in there and said he was going to live there. And that if she wanted to visit him, she knew where he was.
And they were like, and Dorinda's like, was he cheating on you? And she's like, well, I don't know. He said he didn't. And then they were all like, okay, Vicki.
She goes, well, we haven't had sex in 13 months. I'm sorry. Like, what?
He was absolutely living another life.
It's sad, though, because she does not love herself. She does not value herself.
No. That's clear.
Do you think Dawn really loved her?
I think they had love, yeah. But I think Dawn just couldn't do it anymore.
The thing is... yeah. The thing is, too, with these all-star shows, it makes me want to go watch every show that I haven't watched.
Well, that's the genius thing.
I know, it's so fucking genius. Vicki also bought her own wedding ring, or her own engagement ring.
I can't give it back.
No, I won't give it. Absolutely not.
And Dorinda goes, I think that if you should absolutely always give the ring back.
Ends
it. She has big Ange energy sometimes. Not
really. But I like the way you do her is like a Staten Island big Ange. She's Italian though, right?
Dorinda?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like an Italian from Massachusetts. So she has like a New England accent.
Yeah.
And she went to Franklin and Marshall, my alma mater sister.
Mm-hmm. And
fucking chic.
She's a boss ass bitch.
Her house is insane, and I'm obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm. I love Tamra greeting Phaedra and like humping her when she comes in.
Yeah, they like really like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Eva's like, oh my God, the OG herself, the original housewife. No one more iconic than you, Vicki Gunvalson. And Vicki goes, oh, bless your heart.
She's,
and then she goes, who was she?
I have no idea who she was. I was like, Vicki, you're such a bitch.
I know. She also, when they go outside to eat and Brandi shows up and they're all sitting there and Vicki goes, yes, this house is very eclectic. I was like, you fucking bitch. Oh my God. Just dragging Dorinda in such a Vicki way at every turn.
They are talking about the Steve of it all. And then Brandi is like, yeah. She goes, honestly, Steve was a dick. So I'm kind of glad you broke up.
And Vicki goes, but I don't think so. I don't. Vicki, Dorinda's upstairs talking about the house and she's pointing out, and that's when she says, the tree out there, we bless the tree for Richard.
It's the place I feel him.
And then downstairs at the table, Vicki goes, okay, where can we start this like lunch? She goes, it's 2:45.
When are we going to eat? Can you guys get the girls down here so we can get this lunch thing done?
She goes, it's 2:45.
She's like bossing around like the cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed with her.
Well, I think they're also, Vicki and Tamra are mad at Bravo. So they're like, I don't think they're coming in like angry that they got fired.
But Tamra's playing it cool.
Yeah, she is. She's being like funny about it, but I think Vicki, her love tank is not empty with Bravo.
Why was she fired? They just were like,
I think
we're
her
done.
politics and
yeah,
she was starting to like.
She couldn't be. Was she? When was this filmed? Was this
last
filmed
summer?
Last summer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because Tamra, it had like a timestamp on Twitter from like Brandi and Tamra's beef, and that was from 2019.
I think it was like the September of last year they filmed it.
Okay.
Or like August or something.
It's so eclectic.
She goes, yes, it's so eclectic.
Eclectic.
And Dorinda goes, the theme of the house was Marilyn Monroe meets Frankenstein.
Phaedra goes, that's a collaboration I can be really interested in.
Phaedra and Dorinda, by the way, are going to fuck.
Everything Phaedra says, I'm hanging on her every word.
She's like a true poet.
She's I've never seen a woman like Phaedra Parks in my life.
She's amazing.
She needs to be back on a show regularly.
Mm-hmm. And also, when Vicki and Brandi are outside, Vicki's like, what? And Brandi goes, chill out, just eat. If you want to eat, like, you don't have to. And then she goes,
why don't you just figure it out? Just figure it out.
And then she goes, well, I want to eat, but I also want to drink. And then she goes, and then Brandi goes, well, then just eat something so you can drink. And then Vicki goes, okay, I will. I was like,
Brandi goes, you can figure it out. And she goes, I'm figuring it out. But I'm like,
I'm
stand with Brandi of like But I understand also having like eating anxiety.
Yeah, but like Vicki needs to like
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard.
Well, she has Tamra there though.
Does Tamra take care of Vicki?
Mm-hmm. Well, they had a falling out for years.
Why did they fight?
Because Vicki was just like awful.
Vicki's a
Vicki also said that Tamra's husband was gay.
Bitch.
Her hot second husband, Eddie.
So she's jealous.
Yeah. And Tamra's like looks, you know.
Yeah. Tamra's like stunning.
Her husband's super hot.
Mm-hmm. They like work out and fuck and like worship God together.
Yeah. He might be a little gay, but that's okay.
That's great. That's called the jackpot.
But I will say Tamra's pretty chill, I think. But I will say the OC Housewives, there's a lot of gay panic.
I love that. That's what makes them iconic and the ultimate allies at the end of the day.
Because Brandi's like, yeah, I've had sex and relationships with women. And Vicki goes, what? Oh, wow. Okay.
Naked? Oh, I would not get naked.
I'd be naked. She goes, no, she goes, oh, I understand that. I like men. I love men.
The best is Brandi goes, I don't know. I'm just a really sexual person. And Vicki goes, me too.
Me too.
I was like, I don't believe you.
No, I don't agree.
I disagree,
Victoria,
Vic.
I do not agree with you. Dorinda's already getting a little slurry.
Yeah, she says that she was put on pause by Bravo. She said, Andy called me and said, we're just going to put you on pause for a year. And then everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. And in their one-on-ones, they're like, bitch, you were fired.
Yeah, everyone's dragging her and making fun of her. And then they all kind of filter out except Eva and Brandi, who are just like getting plastered together. Mm-hmm. And Dorinda goes, I gotta take a nap. Dorinda loves a nap. She loves like a
daytime nap.
Yeah, a disco nap.
I stand with her on that.
And who would not want to take a nap in that incredible
luscious king size bed with a TV that just comes up from Yeah, I was like, her TV's not big enough for me. But picture me, and I don't like the color red in the bedroom, but picture me in a king size bed, maybe even bigger than king size, maybe even a custom made wide bed with a 77 to 85 inch OLED flat screen mounted on the wall or just coming up not so far away. That is heaven.
One thing I will say though, while they were still at lunch, Tamra, I was like, I knew I loved you. Like, Tamra always has the best reads. Because Brandi's like, well, don't you want to get naked? And Tamra's like, I don't know. And then in her confessional, she goes, look, I just met you, Brandi, and I know you kiss and tell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, she's on it.
Mm-hmm. Love them. Brandi goes into Dorinda's bed to rest her head on Dorinda's bosom. And then Tamra and Brandi clear the air about their, like, Twitter beef.
Dorinda's blackout.
Yeah.
She goes,
so I took my contacts out.
Brandi goes, oh, I love you. She's like, you're like my mom, even though we're the same age. And I'm like, Brandi, she's 15 years older than you. And then Dorinda goes, I am like a mother. And then she goes like this. Yeah, Tamra and her.
Tamra said, she said about Kelly Dodd, she's not stable. She's like Brandi Glanville, which isn't technically calling Brandi Glanville unstable, but it's also not saying that she is stable.
Yeah, she kind of just said Kelly Dodd's like the new Brandi of the Housewives because she's like.
And that started a very ruckus back and forth between them on Twitter where they like came for each other.
Well, Tamra also, or Brandi always goes for like the lowest blows.
Yeah.
And she's talking about like Tamra's estranged children and.
What was that like cam girl thing that is that her podcast?
I think so.
Where she just like, it's just a solo podcast.
Yeah.
In a trucker hat on a bed.
And like
very soft lighting.
Yeah.
And wine. But it was an interesting approach to podcasting.
Also, her son is 14.
He's so cute.
He had a deeper voice than I do.
I noticed too his voice is deep. I was like, I'll bet Carey's clocking this deep voice. He's so cute. He looks exactly like Eddie.
I know.
He's sweet. And they seem like a good relationship.
She has another boy too.
Mm-hmm.
Brandi's then decides to alienate everyone further at the clam bake.
Everyone comes down for the clam bake and Vicki and Tamra are the first ones downstairs. And Vicki looks over and she goes, button up your shirt. It looks silly.
Yeah, Tamra's wearing this kind of like awesome.
Tamra's just like, what I love about her too is like she's like sexy Christian lady.
Yeah.
And that is another just like sweet spot for me.
She's a Christian deadlifter with big tits. Who's
wearing like sexy bras.
Strappy bras.
And she just is like, it's just like sexy Christian blonde lady is.
Yeah, with like a son who's like 15 years younger than her.
Is amazing.
Yeah. And Vicky's just outside going, oh, well, okay, what? I don't even know what's going on.
Bugs everywhere.
Bugs everywhere.
Bugs.
I choose a clam bake. I don't know what a clam bake is.
Vicki like cannot get it together.
No.
It's like she's never been out of the house.
Eva and Phaedra are like, what the fuck is a clam bake? And Dorinda's she's like, it's very New England.
And then Eva's like, oh, like a low country boil.
And she's like, yes, but New England. And she goes, okay, I got you. And then she wears something like awesome and chic and like.
Yeah, they put on their like casual dresses. And then Taylor and Brandi have a private chat pre-clam bake where Brandi, I think, is already blackout at this point.
Brandi made a fucking fool of herself in this moment.
She got off on the wrong foot, as Brandi is wont to do.
She basically told Taylor, like, you don't realize how hard it was for me when your husband killed himself.
Should the year that your husband committed suicide and you were on national television and you also got outed as a victim of domestic violence was the worst year of my life.
And Taylor was just kind of like...
Taylor's like...
She was like, really? And she goes, well, yeah, me too.
Brandi goes, it's just game night into Russell dying, into that. It was the worst year of my life.
She basically is like, and then Taylor goes, me too.
Mm-hmm. And then she goes, no, that's what I mean. It was and I can't imagine what you must have went through, but like, it was the worst year of my entire life.
She goes, but right now I'm talking about me.
I'm telling you about me and my experience.
Taylor,
I was just like, oh my God.
And then Brandi's like, well, I'm really glad we talked and I love you and I'm honestly so good. And then they hug and then Taylor's like, she's walking away with some kind of clarity and closure. And I'm actually I'm angrier than I was before I sat down.
I'm obsessed with being like, your most traumatic year of your life was actually the worst year of my life. I'm going to start doing that to people just to fuck with them.
They sit down at the table and they bring out these just like, it's just mounds of lobster and seafood. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
And Dorinda goes around, she goes, I'll show you how to break a lobster. And she's just going around and cricking it and clacking it. And
digging her fingers into the juice. I was like, she's fingering the foods too much. You'll see more of, Dorinda has a tendency to stick her fingers in everyone's food and everyone is picking up on it throughout these episodes. And it's just something that Dorinda should think about.
Everyone's very confused. Phaedra is just game. And Dorinda goes, come here, Phaedra, I want to feed you. So she brings over and just gets some buttery lobster. And Phaedra basically like deep throats it.
Just like sucks the lobster out of. She goes, if I'm in your multi-million-dollar estate, you stick your fingers in my mouth, you can stick them up my butt. I don't care. I'm down for it all. I was like,
America's
queen.
guest.
Yeah.
Wow.
My favorite part of dinner was everyone sitting down and Vicki looking at the nameplates and they're just sitting in a shell and she looks at the shell and she goes, what's this cute little thing here? It's a shell.
She goes, is that a fortune cookie? I was like,
someone goes,
Vicki,
I think Vicki, it's a fucking shell.
You live on the beach. Like you live in Orange County. Like
Vicki is the kind of person like, and I know this kind of like female act where it's like you're out of your element and then suddenly nothing is recognizable and everything becomes new.
It's Betty Boop.
It's true Boop. It's what is this? What's this cute little thing? And I think women of a certain age, but I've seen women who are younger do it, but it's truly like everything becomes like They've never seen it before. My mom will do that sometimes where I'm like, you are acting like you don't know what is even going on in life right now.
That's like, I've told the story, but that's like when I was catering at that very fancy Christmas party and it was a Gatsby theme and there were actors walking around in character and someone pointed to a beet salad and went, this woman, and she went, oh, wow, what is that red cake? To know, and it was just me, like I was just standing there and I was like, I'm not SAG. Like,
there's that which is like being like, you're like, ooh, wow, ooh, everything's so fancy. Like, what is that? And then there's like the discomfort of being like, everything is weird and I'm weirded out. So then I'm going to treat everything like it's weird and completely foreign. Mm-hmm. And that's like the opposite of like fancy acting, but it still is like an incredibly like feminine trait. It's
interesting.
Boop.
They start talking and then Brandi's like, well, Taylor, she goes, Taylor, I'm actually really happy that you and I had a talk. And then they were like, what did you talk about? And she's like, well, I was telling Taylor that, you know, my first season 2 of Housewives was like an incredibly traumatic season for me. And then Taylor turns to Eva and goes, the year my husband died.
She goes, I hope you know how weird it was for me to be on that season. So horrible for me.
Phaedra starts rubbing her and comforting her.
And then Tamra goes, her husband committed suicide and that was a horrible year for you.
Well, first she goes, I just like don't think you realize like that year was the hardest year. Like that was the worst year of my life. And then Vicki goes, no, it was the worst year of her life.
She goes, no, it was the worst year of my life. She goes, her husband committed suicide and that was a horrible year for you. And yeah. Brandi goes, yes. Not getting it.
I think what she's trying to say is like, it was
like the reason I acted crazy is because it was really, I was also having a hard time.
Yeah, like she was like, she could have, I think if she had said like, I was going through a divorce, I was new, everyone hated me, everyone was treating me like I was this like whore of Babylon, because they did. They like slut shamed her.
They were really mean to her.
They were so mean to her. They bullied her. And on top of that, I'm in the middle of this like thing that I came into where this like woman that I'm working with is being abused by her husband, who then goes on to kill himself. And it just all like traumatized me. And I think that if she had said that maybe with a little less if she had said that when she was a little more sober, I think she would have been able to like
enunciate better.
Yeah.
Or like just be a better communicator. But it's coming off wrong. She got shit-faced and messy herself. And then like
she fucked herself. And then Taylor reveals,
I'm also like, maybe you need to stop drinking.
Well, she says I got my drinking.
She's like, control. It's under control, but it's not.
She and Dorinda need to get. Well,
I mean, I don't know. If it works for them, it works for them. But like from an outsider's perspective, I'm like, you guys, like this seems like you're kind of living in a hell of your own making. Like Dorinda gets drunk and then everything makes her mad. Like she'll be fine one second and then furious the next.
But I love it.
You love it? Is that how you were?
No. I was just weird. I didn't get mad till the end of my drinking. Mm-hmm. No, I don't love seeing someone like fucked up.
She's funny. I mean, she's funny. They're both funny and entertaining. Brandi, it's a little darker.
Yeah,
just because I think
Dorinda's has more.
Dorinda has a lot of rage.
But she's more self-aware in a lot of ways.
And she will rage at you, but then she'll immediately apologize.
Yeah, I think Dorinda has a good heart. And I just love her taste. Mm-hmm. But
Taylor also clears up that she wrote the book because she had to support herself.
And Dorinda goes, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta eat. I love the flashback where Brandi said, she was, well, it's been a hot minute. And then you hear Kyle Richards go, she is a mother. How dare you?
She is now a single mother. How dare you?
I love when Kyle gets like indignant.
But I don't blame Taylor. Like had every right to do that.
Oh yeah, totally.
And Brandi, like that's not. She basically was like, what the fuck else was I gonna do? My daughter was in private school. Mm-hmm. My husband
died. I had nothing. He
left
hid
me with
money.
Nothing.
And so I needed to like pay the bills. And I get it. But I think also Brandi is just like in a different like world than these women, which was the genius of casting her. But also, yeah, I'm sure that was really traumatic.
I don't think Brandi's ever gotten over.
And then Bravo went and made a show with the girl that her husband cheated on her with.
I know. The one who destroyed her marriage. Damn.
Fucking
They fucked her hard. Yeah, it's interesting. But all the flashbacks of like Kim Richard, the sisters Richards ganging up on her and the slut pig of it all.
Terrifying.
So scary.
Brandi starts like
getting really defensive.
Well, she's also just like, bitch, like that's not what I said. And I do think it's just like bitch is like a colloquialism rather than like a insult. Dorinda goes, that's not nice. You're talking to someone who's a widow. You don't call her a bitch.
Well,
okay, like yes, you can call a widow a bitch.
Dorinda is a permanent grief from Richard. Like she's, from what we're like, it's just like
she'll never get over it.
Yeah, so I think he
died of cancer.
Yeah,
unexpectedly, or
I don't know. I think
it was the love of her life.
It was the love of her life.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's so sad.
It's really sad. But he like obviously like set her up to have this like amazing. She's never has to want for anything ever again. But I think it's just like no matter. I have a lot of empathy for Dorinda.
Yeah,
I do. I think she was at the end. I like seeing her again because I don't think she ended the way she deserved. I think.
She ended on a bad note.
She ended on a cruel note where she was being cruel about Tinsley's IVF stuff, like just being mean and like raging about Tinsley. And it was like an ugly way to end a pretty iconic tenure. Like Dorinda was an amazing housewife. And in the way that I just felt like I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So this makes me like, even if she's kind of messy, it's like, this is the Dorinda I want to see.
Mm-hmm. In her prime.
In her element.
Yeah. I love Vicki starts to weigh in and Brandi just turns to her and goes, shut the fuck up, bitch.
And Vicki goes, oh, you will not talk to me like that.
You don't talk to me like that.
No.
No one talks to me like that.
No one talks to me like that.
She goes, I'll say whatever the fuck I want. It's on.
It's on. It's already great though.
Oh, it's great. It makes me, I'm laughing out loud like multiple times per episode. And that hasn't happened in a really long time.
It's true. And I think this is just like the way to, I really think this is like the key to fixing this whole franchise is.
This is the future.
It is.
The
Stick
future
them all
is
together.
now. Just put them on girls' trips.
Send them on, just
10 episodes each.
Yeah.
Keep it moving fast.
Yeah. I think this is the answer. And I think that they found so I pray it continues. I pray.
Like, I kind of don't want, like, sorry if this is blasphemous, but I don't really want or crave another season of Salt Lake City.
We'll have to decide if we're going to recap it.
Yeah. Right now I'm TBD.
Yeah.
Like, I care, but I also don't care.
Same.
I care, but I also have like other priorities.
I have a life to live.
We have rich, full lives to live.
Yeah. We also I just don't care enough anymore about.
Yeah. I don't care enough about them to like talk about them a lot. It's hard when you just like.
Well, this show reminds you like they
laid the groundwork. They worked hard.
They got off their asses and
worked.
worked.
Sweat and tears. They did. They got off their fucking asses and fucking worked.
Every housewife in this show, even the newer ones like Eva, they got off their asses and they fucking worked.
Mm-hmm.
And they paved the way for
mediocrity to follow. For just a phone it in.
Oh, the wild rose. Although I do love the wild rose.
I do love our wild roses.
But guys, I want feedback. What's everyone feeling?
Let us know.
Truly let us. I want to know what people are feeling about this. Is this the future?
Is this the future? You can write us emails. We read them on the bonus episodes, sexyuniquepodcast@gmail.com. You can also, if you're a Patreon member, record an email or no,
a voice memo.
Record a voice memo and then send it to our email, and we play the voice memos on the bonus episodes as well. And it's a really good deal on Patreon. I'm not going to lie.
Come on over. Have some fun.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone is
staying cool.
Keeping their spirits high, staying cool, and doing the best they goddamn can.
And staying true.
Stay true.
Bye.